What is up, everybody? It's MaxComGaming back with another video, and what I have for you today is another Clash Royale strategy. It's the cheapest, funnest, and best way to win as a low level in high arenas, and it's the mortar strategy. I know I've done a similar video to this earlier, but it's a completely different deck. The only card it shares is, I think, the mortar. There might be more like the bomb tower. I'm not too sure, but if you want to take a look at this deck, you want the mortar, the bomb tower, the rocket, and the Valkyrie. Those are the main people, that's the main things you want, and the barbarians and everything else is used for defense. And then, I know it's a 4.1 cost deck, but when you're mostly playing defense and only pushing, you're not really pushing, it helps a lot. So let me get into the first replay. Alright, so in the first replay, we're going to be going against Jeremy from Janksters 904, and he's going to be using the Hog Free strategy. So right off the bat, I think he's going to be dropping off a Hog Rider, and I'm going to drop that my barbarian's too clicky for him to drop his freeze, and that's going to be able to take it out. So as my barbarians take out his Hog Rider, he fireballs my hogs, trying to get some damage, but that didn't, which is going to work. And I dropped my archers too early for him, or for myself, so he drops his archer, or his arrows down and arrows my archers and my barbarians together in one hit. Now let's see the cannon. I'm going to drop my minions down to take that out because it can't shoot air and it's out of range of the towers. So that's an easy kill right there. And then I'm going to drop down my mortar to get a few hits in and hopefully take out a good portion of its tower. So he's going to drop a minion horde. I'm going to arrow that as fast as possible. That is really the only counter for the minion horde, but it's still pretty easy to take out the arrows. And then he drops the Inferno tower, but my mortar will get one more shot up before it dies and bring his tower down all the way to 1500. So now we're both just waiting on the build up. I have 9, he has 4 elixirs, so I'm going to racket the tower, or the Inferno tower, but I should have done something else like barbarians, but I knew he had the hog, so right now he's going to drop in the Hog Rider. And then he's going to try and freeze my troops up, and he's going to get a little bit of damage in, but I'm able to take the Hog Rider out right after. That is a pretty good strategy. I also did a video on the Hog Freeze strategy, so it helps a lot. It helped me get up to Spell Valley, or Builder's Workshop, until I started using this one, which got me a lot more wins. So he's going to fireball my barbarians one more time, which is fine because I'm not really looking to push. So I'm going to drop down my, mortar again, and he drops his barbarians. I thought he dropped his minion horde, so I arrowed that, which is a big problem because he had his minion horde, so I have to drop my Valkyrie to take those barbarians out. And then now, since he noticed that I used all my arrows, he's going to drop in his minion horde, and I have nothing to do but my rockets, so that's what I'm going to be forced to use. But as you see, just on my mortar alone, it brought his tower down at 515, or I might have had a good push in at one point, but I'm not sure. Either way, it's helpful a lot. So now that I know he has the freeze, I drop my barbarians and my minions right after the freeze, so he can't get too much damage in. And I know the fireball's coming, but his Hog Rider was still able to get taken out right away. So now that I see them pushing, I drop my mortar. Too late though, but I knew he was going to drop barbarians, so I dropped the bomb tower, hoping they could take him out, but they weren't able to, and unfortunately he could take my tower out. But not after I put it to 903, and all I had to do was arrow that minion horde, play a little defense, and make sure he doesn't get to my tower with the Hog Rider. And all I need is my rocket, and his tower is gone, and I win the game. So he's already giving up early. He says good game with 10 seconds left because he knew he couldn't do anything because he had no troops. So I'm just going to rocket away. I should have let him play a bit, but either way his tower was done, and that's going to give me the first win. Alright, so in our next replay, we're going to be going against Quinceañero from the Esquadra.ph clan. And he uses Musketeer and Giant. I think this guy that used a Giant. No, he used the same strategy I did, but he also used the Expo and the Mirror. So I kind of, even though my strategy's cheap too, I put a little taunt in because he used the G strategy and I beat him. Especially since he had such a bad deck, it wasn't even good whatsoever. Or I just had perfect counter, I don't know. Either way, this guy was just not a good player. So he's going to drop minion horde on my Valkyrie, which I hate when people do that because it's the only counter to it really. The Valkyrie is one of my favorite cards for splash damage and the complete tank. So now he's just going to drop his, I think he drops his bomber, then he drops his giant. So I didn't know he had a giant here, so I rocketed his elixir collector. So I ran out of most of my elixir, but I still have more than him. So now, then I dropped my minions on that because I knew it had the bomber. So then I was forced to drop my barbarians. And unfortunately his bomber, or fortunately my barbarians were able to take out his bomber and then move over to his musketeer. And I was wrong. This guy did not use the expo. He used the mortar. So now my barbarians are pushing to his tower, but I just wanted a little damage. I didn't really need too much, but they are going to get that early damage advantage, which is really helpful. So now that I see that what troops he has, I see him drop the barbarians, which the perfect counter to that, in my opinion, is a Valkyrie, because she can take level 7 or 8 barbarians out alone until he drops his minion horde on him. So I had forced the arrow that as fast as I could, but it wasn't fast enough. But I knew the barbarians didn't have much health left, so I just needed to drop 3 elixir minions. Or no, I didn't. I left him alone until his bomber was there, and I was forced to just leave that alone so I could build up for my mortar. So that mortar doesn't get distracted by the elixir collector, I had to put it on the way right. And I think he drops his giant. No, he drops his musketeer to try and take that out. Then his giant. But my mortar was still able to get 2 good hits in and bring the tower down to 926. And now that my barbarians are taking out that giant, they can hopefully make a push until he drops something else to counter that. But I use my rocket. It doesn't take too many out. I think it takes 2 out. But it also does great damage on their tower, which will bring it down to 517. And I arrowed both the minion horde. And he drops his mortar down way too late in the game, where it's not going to do too much damage, but it will do some. And so my minions and my, what's her name, Valkyrie, were able to take that out really quickly. So that he only has 500, I need 1 hit with the mortar and a hit with a rocket, and he's done. So now that my mortar got a hit, I know that all I need is a rocket hit, and his tower is done, and I won the game. But I had to make sure he couldn't get to my tower. So now that I rocket his tower, all I have to do is drop barbarians down and hope he doesn't get to my tower in time. And which I do, and I was able to win the game with a 1-0 victory again. So I threw in some taunts at the end because he was using the mortar. It wasn't too nice, but I had to do what I had to do. So now that I have 9 out of 10 crown in my crown chest, I'm going to try and do a live battle and see what we can do. Okay, guys, I apologize for this video stop recording. Something messed up, but I will show you guys replay here, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.